Scoob likes about that cover is more than me that he pretty much noticed and pointed out to me was I'm in the process of inhaling the blunt and Scoob is in the process of exhaling the blunt. So for some reason that caught his attention, and I've always looked at it like, oh, I don't know how the hell he caught that, but that's true.
What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to you guys as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it. Each one, teach one. We appreciate you guys' support and getting us this far. Now, today we have the honor and the privilege of being joined by Dre from D.O.C for Cover Story. Thanks for coming through, sir.
What up? What up? What up? What up, Soren? How's life?
Man, everything is good, man. It's always an honor and a privilege talking to you, man. So thank you for coming.
You already know. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So for a Cover Story, Dre selected to do D.O.C Hold It Down. This is the third album from D.O.C. Came out in 1995. And on this cover in particular, the first cover was more or less a shot with some fluorescent-y colors. Second cover was very dark, sewery. And then this cover is more like militaristic with the color scheme, the color schemes and the camouflage. So what made Hold It Down? What made you guys want to focus on that for the cover?
I think it was a natural progression into just what our look and theme was, always cohort, Tim's, fatigues, army fatigue, anything, jeans. So we tried to keep it the same basically on the third album. We didn't really showcase it that much on the first album. It was more or less the cohort kind of thing with the Tims, and then the second album was more the same. So the third album, we went with the camouflage look, and I just remember we had it was a long day of shooting. The labels, they want more than less, you know what I mean? So just long days of shooting, and what Scoob likes about that cover is more than me that he pretty much noticed and pointed out to me was I'm in the process of inhaling the blunt and Scoob is in the process of exhaling the blunt. So for some reason that caught his attention, and I've always looked at it like, oh, I don't know how the hell he caught that, but that's true. So yeah, so and I think at the time too, there weren't a lot of people smoking, let alone weed, on the cover of the album.
Yes.
So that,
that was unusual. So do you remember during that photo shoot, were you guys smoking through the whole thing, or do you?
Of course, yeah, we were smoking through the whole thing. And what I do remember about the photo shoot is the back of the album, where we were all standing around, the crew, and there's the cars in the back of us. So I can't remember the photographer for the shoot, but he was giving me hell. He would not let me get my shot off, which was I wanted the cars to be positioned a certain way. So if you look at he gave me hell. It won't work. It don't look good. Yeah, whatever his reasons were. And we finally pulled it off. And if you look at that picture, I'm not even smiling in that picture. I'm pissed by the time you see that picture. So, that's what really stood out to me. And that is the same day we did the photo shoot. It was all the same. We did for No Diggity, where me and Scoob are standing and the cars are kind of positioned. You can see the rims.
Right.
So I think I was in my car phase at the time, and that was another setup shot that I wanted. So maybe by the time we wanted the other shot, he was over me, But yeah, that was a one session.
Okay. And also on the back since there's a lot going on with the picture, do you remember how you guys balanced getting all the song titles and the size of everything to make it all work?
No, that was, once you take the picture, it's given to graphic you know, the graphic department, and that was all them. You know what I mean? They, you know, we just posed for the flick, and that was it. But what you don't see is the other side of the hit squad, because by that time there was that big rift going on between the crews. So Eric is not in there, you know, Solo, Red, a whole bunch of stuff was going on during that time. That's also what I remember.
Okay. And
Yeah.
back to the cover of Hold It Down. That one was this is your third album, but it's also the first album where you really get to see both of your faces very clearly,
Oh yeah.
and up
Okay.
close, up
Okay.
close. So
Okay.
why do you think it took for the, since artists are always about showing themselves, why did you think end up waiting until the third album for that?
No, no real you know, it wasn't anything that we planned, you know. Yeah, we weren't hiding from anybody. We weren't, you know, we're not sex symbols, so we know we didn't need no lighting. You know what I'm saying? catch my good side. No, it wasn't even that type of party. So, you know, Scoob was on the. If you go back to our first cover, you could see Scoob's face pretty much. I mean, they did half his face, and then when you turn the cover over, I'm on the back. They kind of did a reverse thing, you know. So, you know, second album. I know this is not your format. Sorry, Soren, but we're
That's all good.
talking. But yeah, the second album, which was I forgot his name as well. Terrible memory. But that was shot. I remember we were in some kind of, you know, big budget by now. So we're sitting in some warehouse and it's plexiglass. That's how that album cover was done. Straight up suicide. The photographer was underneath us, and there's this big you know, it's like a window, but of course it wasn't a window. There's, you know, plexi, and we're standing on it, and he's shooting. Oh, this is great! I'm loving it. You know, one of those. You know. So
Now, did you with Hold It Down? Well, really all your guys' albums, but do you remember like caring about the album covers much, or was it not a big deal to you?
it seems like we cared. We cared, but we cared more, I think, about the titles than the pictures. We cared, you know, Dead Serious meant something to us, which was, you know, we had dropped out of college at that time. So we were really focused and dead serious on making it work. So that's why that album was called Dead Serious. Picture, we could care less, you know. I could have been, hey, I need equal billing time on the front cover with School. Why am I so small in the back? And I didn't even care about that. I just knew we had an album out, coming out, you know. Second album, straight up suicide. The label fought us on that name because, you know, suicide, oh my God, we can't even imagine. So we had to fight with that one. But obviously we meant, you know, we were just coming with some, you know, underground music, because we had to explain what coming straight from the sewer was to them in the beginning, you know. So sewer, we just used it as another word for underground, you know, instead of, oh, we're coming from the underground, oh, you know. So, and then Hold It Down was, by that time, it was just definitely a lot going on in hip hop, a lot going on within our careers, a lot going on with the crew, meaning the hit squad. So it was basically a time to hold it down. And it was more so from outside forces, because it's like, you know, you win the Super Bowl, every other team is going to structure their team after your team, meaning every other crew wanted a duo. They wanted a female in their crew, Hurricane Gloria, i.e., you know, they wanted, you know, so a lot of crew names, you know, Flip Mode Squad, Terror Squad, Rough Riders, you know, a lot was Puff, Death Row, you know. So people don't understand there was a lot going on. And, you know, so we felt there was a time to quote unquote hold it down, you know.
Okay, gotcha. And then for, as you think about it, what would you say is kind of the legacy of the Hold It Down cover for you when you think of it?
I think the color scheme and the fatigue, like you said, it was one of those, you know, looked artsy, not artsy, but, you know, those colors, as they say, the colors popped, the green, the beige, the camo, the smoking, the dreads, the cars. So I think it was just, it was a feel, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing, because at that time in 95, when I think about it too, that was we were getting more into, to your point, kind of the artistic stuff, maybe like you did with Straight Up Suicide. So by 95, now we were seeing, you know, an explosion of these high concept covers or all these different effects and, you know, just different stuff going on. And I just remember when I got the album, it was striking in its clarity and simplicity, which I appreciated because it reminded me of, you know, how rap was and before all the big budgets and all that. But it also made me think too, because East West, the label you guys were on at the time, for those the first three albums and a few after that, I was always intrigued too, because on the singles, there was typically, the ones I would get at least, there was no art. It was just a black sleeve or a white sleeve, and then the label itself. Do you remember why you guys, did you ever push or want or care about like having your singles have any art or special stuff?
No. And I think maybe they had enough pictures, that's for sure. Cause you know, I do remember going into the label and, you know, they'd have the pictures laid out in the little squares on the, and then you would take the thing and you'd look and you'd mark, I like this one, you'd go down, you know, you'd spend 3 hours at the label. I like this one, order lunch, come back. I like this one, you know, more the same. And then you go away and they would come back and show you different renders. But my point is they had more than enough if they needed extras, you know, because there were tons and tons and tons of pictures of us. But that wasn't our thing. We weren't like, oh my God, we're not on the this. Nah, you know, yeah.
Go figure, you cared about the music. Go figure.
Yeah, right. You know, we cared about was the mix right and the mix and the rhymes. Yeah.
Well, there it is. Well, Dre, thanks for coming through the cover story, man. I really appreciate it.
You already.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
What's that 5 on your MTV Rap with NWA?
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.